Hello and welcome back to Stampin' on the Hill. I'm Deb Kais. Um, you know that I've gone through like all of the basic stamping steps and we called it Stamping 101, and now we're on to Stamping 301 in it because it's the first week of the month. We're doing a Stamping 301 today. We're going to do a case. Remember, we talked about casing. Copy and share everything is what CASE is an acronym for. And we're going to case a card that I showed you last time when I was showing you a bunch of Slimline cards and how fun and easy they could be. So let me show you. Let's get down to my hands here a minute and show you again one of the cards that my friend I sent to me. And this is beautiful. I mean, the paper is beautiful itself, but this is one of those cards where if you let the designer series paper, which is also known as DSP, if you let it do the work for you, this is such a simple card. So, and it fits in the regular letter size envelope. So I grabbed one of those out again, just to reiterate, although we did share that last time. So we're going to real quick try to recreate this card. I wanted to show you, let's see, we're going to use copper clay as our card base. And I've got a couple of pieces of, actually, you know what? Let's just start. Instead of showing you all of the things and then going back and cutting it, let's do it this way. So this is a regular 8.5 by 11. And we're going to cut this at 3 1/4 by 11. So we've got the short side at the top, and we're going to go 3 1/4. So we can really make 2 cards out of this one sheet of cardstock still, which is one of the things I loved about my friend I's version of this particular Slimline card. Remember, we talked about there were 2 different sizes, and I'm really liking this size better. I asked for your thoughts, but let me know if you still have a preference, whether you preferred the little bit larger, wider size. And then we're going to score this at 4 3/4. So not in half per se, but then that leaves this as 6 1/4 size. Okay. So there's that part. I think we're done with that. Let's grab our bone folder and get our crease done nicely. All right, so here's the base. Okay. Then I also have a piece of basic white. This is 4 1/4 by 3, and that's going to go on the inside here. And then I also have a basic white scrap that we're going to use to make the greeting. And then I'm using the Thoughtful Journey DSP, and we used this last week. I'm not going to go through and show you all the pages again because we used the same DSP last week. This is my new current favorite. It really is. It's got such beautiful sceneries and the colors are awesome. Oh, speaking of colors, if you remember, we talked about this too in the Stampin' 101. The colors that are used in the DSP are found on the back of the package. So you can always refer back to that. Now, copper clay is not necessarily listed on the back in this particular DSP, but we're using it anyway because I kind of liked the way it went together. So you don't have to use, I guess my point is that you don't have to use the colors that are listed on the designer series paper, but it's there to guide you in case you're looking at it and going, what is that color of yellow that they have in there? So anyway, that's a good guide. If you want to go and see a flip through of all of those pages of the DSP, go back and watch last week's Fun Fold because I flipped through them. Okay, so we're going to take this, and again, we've got one piece of cardstock that can really make 2 cards, and then I've got one 6 by 6 piece of DSP that's going to also make 2 cards. And I thought, well, this one's kind of cool, but if I cut it at half, what's this one going to look like? You know, the bottom half of this to make the second card. And then I thought, oh, well, if I flip it over, I really liked this side. So anyhow, I cut it in half already, and I, through the magic of television, already have it cut out for you. So now what we're gonna, oh, see, I have to bring the cutter back in. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to cut our DSP at 4.5. So this is 3 by 6, and we're gonna cut it at 4.5. So it's gonna be the same size as this white inside piece here. So 4.5 by 3. Double checking, because 4.5 by 3, yes. Oh, I think I have my notes written down that this is 4.25. It's really 4.5. I'm sorry. So 4.5 by 3, and we want to cut it. There we go. All right, so that's that way. So really all we're going to do is glue these things together. So let's just do it, right? Move this out of the way so that we have to stamp on, well, I guess we're not stamping on there today, are we? We're just going to stamp the greeting on the outside. So we're just making sure that the border is even around the edges here, lining it up. And of course, with the liquid glue, that's the best option. And then with this little piece, we're going to put it on the inside. And again, I'm going to try to do the same border on all 3 sides here. Looks like I need to come in just a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to take our white 4.5 by 3. We're going to put that right in here, and I'm going to butt it right up to this DSP here. This could have gone a little bit. I wonder if I have a little bit of wiggle room. Yep, it's going to be good. All right. So pretty much that's the card, right? So now we just need to stamp a greeting. I have chosen, and decorate it up a little bit. So I have chosen, turn this way, the Friends for Life stamp set for this one. And we're going to use Best and Wishes. And we're using Cajun Craze and Balmy Blue. So I'm going to use the Balmy Blue first. Let me move this out of the way a little bit so it doesn't get all inky. And I've got my Best and Wishes on 2 sides of my block, like you know me, I always do, because 1 block is better than a million. And then I'm going to guess. I'm going to use the, it's called the Modern Oval Punch. So I'm going to kind of eye this up and make sure that I'm far enough into my paper cardstock. And I'm going to stamp that there. That's a full strength. I was testing some out, and some of them, depending on how dark they are, how dark your bottom color is there, sometimes you have to stamp that off first. So watch that, because it's always an option to make it a little bit lighter. And now with my Cajun Craze, this one's going to be a little bit darker, but the words are smaller. And I'm going to just put it on a little bit of an angle and stamp it right over the top. Then we're going to pull in the punch, Modern Oval Punch, and I should have stamped this on the other side so that I could have more to hold on to. That was not smart thinking, but we learn as we go. And we're going to just kind of center this up in here. I'm squeezing gently to hold it in place before I decide if that's really where I want it. And then I'm going to squeeze. Okay. So now with this, it'll go here. And so you'll notice I picked up the blue from kind of the sky, and then the Cajun Craze is all around. So I'm going to we want to zhuzh this up just a little bit. Now here's, the linen thread is really thin, and there's a whole bunch of different ways to do this. Today, I'm going to kind of fold it in half, and we're just going to make a really big bow, but we're going to make it with 2 thicknesses. I want to make sure that I have enough here. So these are my ends. we're going to cut these apart later. So we're going to pretend right now that this is the other set of ends, and we're going to make our loop. We're going to go around, and we can't do this on a camera. Make the loop again, go around. It's so much fun to do this intricate stuff when you've got a camera in your face and you can't really see what you're doing because you're doing it through the camera. Oh dear. Anyway, so then we're going to jiggle our bows around. And the reason I used two was to, and I want it to be kind of big and floppy. The reason I used two was so that I could vary the lengths of my bows. So I can have, you know, a big side and a small side. So you see where I'm going with that. And then at the bottom, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this about where that one is, and we're going to cut this in half. Those were not my ribbon scissors. Could you tell? I had to I had to chop twice. All right, so we've got a big floppy bow right now. We're going to use a glue dot, mini glue dots. And this, again, is old packaging because I don't use these as often as I used to for some reason. I don't know why. So I'm going to pick up my glue dot by peeling it back until I see the first one. I'm going to press the middle of my knot for my bow, and then, yep, it pulls right off the waxed paper there. And I want to put this on this side, but I'm going to put it on the back. So like that on the back. So this is what it'll look like from the front. And then we're going to pull in, I guess we should do a couple dimensionals, but we got to figure out where we want this on our card. And we want to make sure that we don't go over this line or else it won't open. So we want it to be about here. I'm going to flip it this way. I'm going to put one here and one here. Pull off the backings of that. Move this stuff out of the way with my garbage. And then this is going to get, it can be down some. I think I like it down a little. There. All right. We could put a greeting on the inside. I didn't choose one for this particular card. But that was fun and easy, wasn't it? It was really quick too. I was amazed when I showed them to you last time, but I was really amazed, especially when you let the DSP do the work for you. I was amazed at how quick this came together. All you need is a greeting, right? And some designer series paper. Don't forget, I also showed you how to make your own designer series paper in case you didn't have any, with just some stamps. Go back and watch that one if you missed it. I chose to use the copper clay for my card base because I'm checking my notes to see what I forgot to tell you already. I chose to use the copper clay because it's one of the in colors that will be retiring at the end of this catalog season. So in April, we won't be able to get this anymore. So and it's a fall color. I'm really into fall. I'm going to have either this card or a variation. We're going to make one of these Slimline cards in the October in-person class. So if you don't already subscribe to my newsletter where that information comes out, and I do put it on Facebook as well, but the people who get my newsletter get first dibs, just in case you're interested. So those of you who are looking to do an in-person class, I've been running 4 cards right now, 4 cards for $15, or if you place a $35 order, then your class is free. So, and there are 2 class times. It's the 3rd Monday of the month. So what does that make it for October? The October class will be October 21st. And there are 2 class times. So I have a 3 to 5 class time and then a 6 to 8 class time. I know once it starts getting dark earlier for fall and winter, a lot of people don't particularly care to drive or drive too far in the dark. So that's why I'm offering an earlier class as well. So I'd love to see you at one of those. And don't forget to get on the mailing list. If to get on the mailing list, there's two different ways. You can choose the contact us button on the top of the Facebook page, or on YouTube, it's in the links for the contact me portion of the links there too. So until next time, thanks for watching.